Hello, this is Bloy. This video is to show the out-of-the-box operation of this Yaskawa pendant along with my basic three-axis router. This is my first video, so please bear with me as I attempt to articulate this demonstration. So where shall we start? Let's start with the handle, because it's large and you can see it. It's the MPG, referred to as handle on this pendant. Right now it's in step velocity mode, works right out of the box. I'm happy with it. I like step and velocity because it gives you a chance to move just little increments at the same time as large fast movements. This is the button switch here to go from the X, Y, and Z axis, and I'm now stepping it up and down a few increments. And then I'll go to Y, send it back a little bit, and come forward. Okay, so that's nice. I really like that, right out of the box. Okay, now probably want to see it run a G-code, so let's take the 0 return button here and send it back to 0. Okay, and I have a little test G-code prepared with some IJs and some straight movements, and that was tested. See how the spindle turned on and turned off with an MO3, and here comes an MO5, I believe. Yes. A straight move back and forth, back to the same return, and it's basically a helix that lowers the Z-axis for every rotation. Here's another MO3 coming up. Start the spindle, of course, for noise control. I can turn that off on the spindle stop. And it's going to finish out now with one more spiral and return to 0. G54, and at the same time return the G-code to the beginning. Okay, the spindle button works fine, as you can hear that. And I haven't demonstrated all of the speed movements, so the optional stop works. I'll turn that light on for now, and that's indicating that if an M1 is in there, which I have inserted in the G-code, that will stop the progression of the cycle. So let me demonstrate some of the rapid speeds and the percentages. Here we are again. F0 will just hold it there. It waits and waits until you want to do something. 25% begins it moving, and 50% of course, and you're 100%. Here's an MO5 coming up. Shut the spindle off. This is a straight move. I'll demonstrate that later for feed hold. And now we're coming around to the M1 optional stop. Okay, M1 optional stop. I only have one in there. I can leave that on, but I'll turn it off for now. Cycle continues. And as long as it's moving, any one of these buttons does not affect the movement of the G-code. So we're in rapid now, as the light is on. Rapid is rapid. Moves the axis this way, that way. Y is back, forward and back. And of course Z, which is sensitive, I don't use that too much with that. So that works fine. Let's send the Y back a little bit. X over. And use the return to 0 again, which, there we are, back. And the G-code is ready to go again. Now let's go down to feed hold. Notoriously, feed hold doesn't work when you're in an arc, or at least in IJ mode. So I've put in a straight movement to show how feed hold works. Let's run this around once more again. And it will come around and move the axis over. Now I can feed hold as long as there's a straight movement. If there's an arc, you'll get a cannot differentiate the positions or something, whatever it says there. And then I can continue again. Single block works. The coolant on and off works, but I don't have my vacuum hooked up to it. I'll put a label on there saying vacuum. And of course your feed override button over here, excuse me, slows down the machine too to 0 in increments of 10% or 100. The faster speeds I haven't looked into yet. Okay, now we're into jog movement, no G-code, and of course in the last post I indicated how these buttons work reversed. Well, I straightened that out, and if I want to jog a movement, then you're up here with these axes. Let's go X, 1 inch, another inch, another inch, I'm in 100%, and of course back, and Y, 1 inch, 1 inch, and whatnot. Okay, so let's use the 0 return again. And I guess we have your E-stop button, which is emulated, and your reset button. I guess that's all for now. There's a lot of things active in here, but there's some buttons that can be reconfigured. The memory just opens up the latest file list. It sends you back to the Mach 3, so you have to leave the pendant. The MDI opens up the MDI screen in Mach 3, so you have to go back there to close the button, as I am right now. Cancel, and back to program run screen, but and it stops the operation if these are open. So those can be configured differently. The TLM from the icon, I would say that has something to do with the tool setting, but what it does now is just brings up the tool table, so you can then select a tool, which takes you away from the pendant again. Single block works. I can each movement brings it around. That's a single block. Move it again, shuts the spindle off. So that works fine. Return to 0 again. Quite a few functions are actually already built into the Mach 3 plugin. As I learn more about customization, I hope to utilize these buttons below the LCD. I'm assuming they all relate to the LCD, and hopefully with the MDI I can bring up a cursor to input code, or like the F1, F2, F3, and F4 may have preset configurations that you just push the button and whatever you want to come up on the screen allows input. That's beyond me at this moment, but so that's basically it. I hope you like it. Please respond. Thank you.